said it for the game. The students have done their job. They are here tonight, and we are off and running in the Big Ten on Super Tuesday.
I just think it's so important for Maryland to get off to a good start here and get this crowd into it. That's a good start right there. Oh, no, they're going to call a block.
That's on Fats Russell, who was questionable to play in this game with a wrist injury from last time out against Indiana. I thought maybe no call there.
I'm shocked it was a call to foul. Now, he was in the restricted area, but usually on plays like that where it's bang bang and you're off the basketball, I thought Terry Oglesby might just let him play.
Terry joined by Donnie Epley and Rob Kuhneman tonight. Your three officials in the Big Ten this evening. Illinois and Wisconsin 8-2, Michigan State 7-2, and a quick steal. Here is Fats Russell willing to go 1-on-2, and he put it in.
I think Max Christie actually blocked it in. Now that's what Fats Russell can do. It hurt his wrist in the second half against Indiana, but you let him get in the open floor. He is as fast as anybody in this league. He can be a blur.
He turns a corner at the perimeter as well as just about anybody in this league. Into the post, Marcus Bingham Jr. with the miss, and Joey Hauser, who's been really important to them the last month or so, on the offensive rebound, and Tyson Walker, very efficient from three when he does shoot it, gives them the lead.
Well, they need Tyson Walker to step up to the plate and start playing a little better. Last two games, just 7 assists to 6 turnovers, 6 of his last 17, and off the offensive board, gets a wide open shot from the top of the key.
Kadus Wahab defended nicely by Bingham. Those bigs were so good against Michigan and Hunter Dickinson.
Well, they didn't leave any fouls in the chamber.
They did not.
But you know what? The physicality they played with, Marcus Bingham, I thought just fought Hunter Dickinson. And so did Julius Marble, and so did Joey Hauser. And their bigs were phenomenal. Hunter Dickinson gets his 25, but it took him 18 shots to do it.
There was a little, oh, they got a whistle there, and Wahab can't believe it.
Loss up at Breslin. He was just, riding the bench, but comes back last 3 games, has given you more of what he's given all year. He's played to his averages.
Now his health is better, and it's just the rhythm of getting back into the flow of play. But when he's good, they are certainly better.
Look at Michigan State triple switching that and just taking the action away. Now Gabe Brown gets lost, and that's a big shot for Eric Ayala. They need him and Fats Russell to score to have a chance tonight.
Eric Ayala now 4th all-time at Maryland in three-point shooting, coming off a 2 for 12 against Indiana. And you don't want to place blame on one guy because it's a lot of guys, but they didn't shoot well, and he was one of the culprits.
Well, I just feel like for Maryland to be successful, their starters have all 5 got to play well, and even more so, Fats Russell and Eric Ayala have got to get going on the offensive end.
They only play 8 guys on a typical day, and here is Dante Scott.
You could throw him into that mix too. One of his last 13. They need Dante Scott to be a factor tonight.
The crowd loved that flyby more than life itself.
And I think you said it earlier. Props to the students. I mean, that's a wall of kids right behind the Maryland basket.
Scott, long range, no, long rebound. Tom Izzo's been preaching about that for weeks, and his team didn't come up with the defensive board.
16 offensive rebounds against Michigan. Didn't burn them there, but it did against Northwestern earlier a couple weeks ago. They have got to get on the glass. Maryland not a good team in terms of offensive rebounding.
This is Bingham on the board for Michigan State. 16-4 overall. A couple of really good losses in there at Illinois, Kansas, Baylor. The only real quizzical one is Northwestern, as Hauser is going to get called for a foul that would be a clear path foul in the Wizards game. Big Ten has palaces.
They really, I mean, you're totally right. And also fans that are willing to support.
Good point.
The fan support is the best in the country, and it's not even close.
More late shot clock for Maryland. Wahab did walk. Well, for Tom Izzo, one of the questions is, can his team avoid turning the ball over chronically? And they've turned it over twice today in under 4 minutes.
That's the question for the season. I mean, right on cue, a pass by A.J. Hoggard that he is so fortunate to come back with.
Christie tees it up. He got hit. Dante Scott ran into him. Yeah, but your role can be a major one, that
Totally.
you fill a gap for a championship team, as Christie hits all three.
And you have to believe that this Michigan State group has aspirations of winning the Big Ten, trying to get back to the Final Four, and he's a guy that can be a winning piece. There's no question in my mind about that.
You played right at the beginning of the height of Twitter, I guess you would say. Is that fair to say? As Wahab has it stripped away down low. I thought he had a basket.
I truly thought you were going to say the start of Joey Hauser's career.
No, I wouldn't.
So yes, keep going. Yeah, Twitter was starting, but it wasn't as crazy fan. It was more media. Media people were tweeting about the games, but fans were not interacting in that manner.
Malik Hall on the spin, switch to the right hand and scored.
Boy, he's really gone to that fadeaway jumper, but that was not that right there. That's more of a turnaround, use your footwork, and go right through the chest of Dante Scott.
He's really varied up his post moves in the last month or so.
He's shooting 56% on those post moves. He can really score on that block, and you're right, he's got a wide variety to go to.
Catch and shoot for Dante Scott is no good. Maryland 253rd in the country from three, and that has been a problem all year. Hall, line drive, no. So what do you want out of Maryland?
I want to see this, paint touches. I want to see them drive the basketball. Sure, it's fine to get looks from three, and they've had some that haven't gone early. They're going to have to get back as well, but I think as long as their guards are getting to that painted area and spraying it out, good things are going to happen.
Scott wants to shoot.
I don't like that shot.
Well, he thought about taking it earlier.
You've missed 2 looks from 3. You're now 1 of your last 15, and that's just not the shot you need.
And then Jaden Akins, who has his first points in his last 3 games. We were watching Dante Scott that last possession. He had a notion when he first touched the ball, gave it up, and then took maybe a worse shot.
It was like a premeditated thought of, I gave this one up. The next one I touch, it is going up. That's a bad pass.
That's a really
fortunate. But you think about the win here against Illinois. You go to Rutgers, you win. 3-7 in the Big Ten isn't something to beat your chest about, but he has done a good job considering the circumstances. Dante Scott needs to drive the ball. That's how he just absolutely killed Illinois. I mean, whoever was guarding him, he just took him into the torture chamber. Got his game on.
Tower of London.
That is deep.
Ayala, no. Bingham trying to play volleyball, and Dante Scott for 2 more. Tom Izzo, every time we see him, talks about what they've tried to do to deal with long defensive rebounds, and it's just not happening.
That's one where you just have to secure it. You don't grab the basketball with 2 hands. It pops out, and it goes right to Dante Scott, who needed an easy basket to try to get him going. That's a foul. Category on Saturday. That was not the play there.
Michigan State 7 for 7 from the line tonight. Michigan State's toughest rebounding teams, Rob, what would you compare them to playing against them?
I mean, it was like football players. You got Raymar Morgan at the 3, you got Goran Sutan at the 4, and then take your pick of Edong Ibach, Marquise Gray, Drew Namick. I mean, it's like they just came at you in droves.
Another paint couple of points for Dante Scott.
That's the biggest thing in the game for Maryland.
Gabe Brown wants a piece of the scoring column.
2 of his last 13 from 3. He has really struggled from beyond the arc.
That is our earliest Goran Sutan of the year. And Super Tuesday, Scott has 6 early for Maryland. You said it. He's so good when he drives.
He just caught the ball and drove that left lane line hard. Dante Scott can really score the ball, but he has got to take shots that are in rhythm, open, or drive that thing.
Tyson Walker.
They dared him to shoot it. And Fats Russell went a good 4 or 5 feet under that ball screen.
Now Maryland for the lead here. Ayala into the paint.
Especially when you got a body like Dante Scott and the ability to get to the rack.
Simon Wright has checked into the game deep off the bench for Maryland. couple of minutes the last few games for Simon Wright. Big night of college basketball here on our ESPN networks, by the way. Number 1, Auburn will be on ESPN later as Ayala has a couple of free throws. First 2 free throws for Maryland tonight, which has taken a 1-point lead. Walker saw an opening, drive and kick for Brown. That's no good. And the rebound to the corner, and this will go to Maryland. 17 straight wins for Bruce Pearl, who could run for mayor and win in a landslide.
He would destroy. I mean, the fan support that they have generated there, they've made that from pure football. All of a sudden, you see the games, and it's just, I mean, it's one of the better venues right now, I think, in the country. And the team he's put together, I mean, my goodness.
Look, Bruce was a very good analyst for us. He's a better coach.
No, I mean, he was born to do that. I mean, he is just one of those guys where I think he will coach forever.
And if he's not coaching in college, he'll be like coaching the local 7th grade team.
I just
and they will sell out.
It's what he was born to do, and he promotes it, and he wins everywhere. There's no question about that.
That's later on, 9 Eastern time. Carl Ravitch, Jay Billis have the call in the basketball Iron Bowl, as Michigan State looks like it's in for a grinder on a Tuesday again, as Hakeem Hart has an 8-0 run for Maryland.
That's how he has made his money this year. He is driving that thing, and Julian Reese coming over. Eric Ayala, preseason All Big Ten. Fats Russell has played a ton of college basketball. The starting 5 is a very solid group. Now the problem is bench scoring can be extremely limited. They play 7 guys.
Into the post. This is Marble off the spin, and Julius Marble's first 2 brings Michigan State within 1.
And when he catches that basketball in a good position, he gets a shot up. More often than not, it's going down. 15 of his last 19 from the field. Caught the basketball, made a decisive post move, had the whole side.
Michigan State just got wild on a couple of possessions there, and then when everybody touched it, they scored. Scott pierces the lane again.
Marble.
Here is Walker into Hart. No shot, no block. None of that actually happened.
At Rutgers on Saturday, I'd say the same thing, because it is going to get so real over the next couple weeks.
This race for the Big Ten regular season title, somebody's going to win a trophy and be very proud of that thing this year.
Well, Gabe Brown just missed Julius Marble. He had great post position on Julian Reese. He can score the ball on the inexperienced freshman.
Right in. Marble scores.
It's an easy game. I mean, like, it was their last possession. You didn't go to it. The bench saw it. Mark Montgomery's up saying throw the ball in. Good things happen when you listen to your coaches.
Did you always think that?
No.
Just flat out no. Russell, nice find, and no finish at the rim. So now Michigan State in transition, and Christie spun it out. Russell, no. Christie, and this will go to Michigan State, who would love to play a little bit less than the half court.
No, it's changed to that, but Max Christie, I believe it was Jaden Akins, he had him running the floor, would have been a layup. But it's become one of those deals where when guys are running out, they're not necessarily running for layups anymore. It's run to the three-point line and get one up.
Hogard over the top.
Hasn't scored, 0 for 2, doesn't have an assist. This is coming off a game against Michigan where I'm just thinking this is one of the best times I've ever seen him play. Same to be said about Wisconsin now, right on cue.
There he is. Well, and he missed it, but the foul is there for Hauser.
Well, I love the effort by Joey Hauser. He does not assume that that's going to go down. Hogard gets you going with the steal, but Joey Hauser with his effort there to clean it up.
Yeah, Myron just said it. Joey Hauser looking more and more comfortable as Russell gets on the gas pedal, left it short. Wahab the rebound. Green scores.
Nice pass by Kadush Wahab, and an even better cut by Xavier Green. Now a steal.
Russell and Green, little two-man job. They're playing 4-on-5.
That's a foul. No, it really is. It's clear that the best teams have risen to the top of the standings, but with another month to play, boy, who's the best team in the Big Ten? I change my opinion almost daily because it seems like everyone is beating everybody.
You're going to go on every take exposed.
I mean, it's just like it's impossible to pick.
Wahab, no. Rebound for Bingham, and Michigan State up by 1 despite shooting 1 for 6 from 3 on a season average. It puts him 8th in the country from 3. See if Christie can get going. He finds Bingham on a rim run.
Boy, just a two-man game. Maryland falls asleep on the backside, but Marcus Bingham sets a good screen, rolls right to the basket, and Max Christie with the delivery.
Bingham might be their most important piece.
I think getting him back to up to speed and playing the way he was before his COVID so important. He defends the rim. He can step out and shoot. He can get it going at the rim, and that's a big shot for Hakeem Hart. Knocked down 2 threes in the loss against Indiana. He just does a little bit of everything for this Maryland team.
He's a very strong defensive player as well, as he's tied the game with 6 to go in this first half. It's a wide open look from the corner for Akins. It wouldn't go. Hart declined on the 3 early in the possession. We'll see what they end up with. It's Wahab who's fouled. Maryland swept Michigan State last year. They've won 3 of 4 in this series. And while it's been a rough go for the Terrapins, they do have some trophies on the mantle this year, with Illinois being one of them. Oh, Malik Hall just had to take it, and he buries the 3.
If you're Xavier Green, and I consider Xavier Green a pretty good defender, but you cannot encounter that screen. That's one pass, a simple pin down, and boy, Malik Hall had all day to let that fly.
He could have done a Rubik's Cube and then taken the shot.
Wide open.
Walker got a hand on it there. They'll refeed the post. Ayala off the spin. That is a really tough shot. Christie with the defense. Down to the deck it goes, and we will have a tie-up. Was in the crowd Hall of Fame as well. I love the crowd here. The student section, very clever.
They do a great job.
Wahab. Yeah, that was just flying around Twitter the other day, so sorry to Maryland and SVP for bringing it up. That's a bad beat.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That Duke team was loaded, though.
Our pal Jay Williams, among others. Hall off the spin, got bodied. Nice defense by Green.
Much better right there by Xavier Green, getting a contest and understanding Malik Hall wants to go to that fadeaway on the block.
Fats Russell sometimes looks like he needs a runaway truck ramp when he gets into the paint.
That is deep.
Thinking you may not have loved that shot, Rob.
Well, you need Eric Ayala to be aggressive, but I just think that he can get that whenever he wants it.
He's got the defense on Christie there. This is touched out of bounds. He'll hear about it for a while. Just recently, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN in the app.
I know that UCLA got them, but I still think Arizona is really good. They're huge. They can shoot threes at a really high clip. Ben Mathurin is a stud. And they got a lot of bodies they can throw at you.
Remember when UCLA hired Mick Cronin?
And everybody was, yeah.
Well, how's he going to play? He's not from the West Coast. Mick Cronin just can coach.
No doubt. From X to O standpoint, that dude.
And you want a tough practice, by the way? You want a tough shoot around?
You don't want to work anymore?
Wow, that got really defensive so fast. How about Kevin Connors being a big fan of the AA Rockies, by the way, mentioning the Hartford Yard Goats, as there's 2 in the paint for Hall.
Showing off the footwork right there. Help defense coming over does not matter for Malik Hall, who spins away from the help and gets to that right hand.
Even in an odd first half, Michigan State has a 4-point lead here. Maryland's had all sorts of opportunity to make it sting for Michigan State, and they haven't really done it. That's a foul. What do you make of this Michigan State team? Just broad view.
I think what John and Dallin were talking about, when they get into half-court games, it can just become a slog. They have got to find ways to get out, run, use their athletes. They got to find Gabe Brown some good-looking looks, and that's a heck of a start. But think about it, Illinois, when he was able to be effective, they were taking that ball off the glass and going, and he's able to run that wing. And credit Maryland, they've totally taken them out of their fast break.
Yeah, the game plan when you get into the NCAA tournament against Michigan State this year would be pretty clear. Keep them in the half-court offense as much as possible. And it's been such a good scouting report. He's made it to 8 Final Fours in 27 years.
It's an effective formula. There's no question.
How about that? NIT's his first 2 seasons as head coach. And if this were now that he was spending his first 2 seasons, people would be calling for his job. And instead, he went to the NCAA title game and won one a couple years later. Hogard.
Good defense by Fats Russell. Just locking up on A.J. Hogard. And that's that half-court slog. You just don't get much out of it.
Fats Russell out of control, and a steal for Brown and Michigan State. Hauser the screen, now catching for 3, Joey Hauser.
I think that you just have to find Julian Reese. I think it'd be wise to go right back to it.
10 in a row for the Spartans. Their largest lead of the ball game. Reese sizing up Hauser. 7 to shoot for Maryland. Tough pass deflected away by Hauser. He's playing such good basketball.
He certainly is, but Eric Ayala's got to be ready to shoot that or play off that pass, and then he just kind of flips up a hand grenade, and it wasn't even close.
Hogard drive and kick, got it to the corner, and that open look was an air ball from Akins. Maryland 8 turnovers, 9 field goals to trail by 10, and what they turned into a grinder that they wanted it to look like. The scoring's just not been there.
And Michigan State has no fast break points. They've kept them in the half court, but I don't feel like Michigan State has played overly well, but Maryland has really struggled over the last 5 minutes.
Ayala, tough shot, and that is a microcosm of the offense tonight.
No question. And I think on a night where Gabe Brown has 5 points and Max Christie has struggled coming off a really good game against Michigan, these other guys can step up here and make some plays.
Ten-point lead out of the half for Michigan State, and there's the hard drive baseline for Christie.
I mean, he just oozes with potential, and one of those guys where you can't keep him down for long. He's been alternating a little bit, good game, bad game, but a tough first half for Max Christie. That's a great way to start it. Driving the ball and going up strong.
Grew up in a basketball family. We were talking to him a little bit at shoot around. He didn't grow up a huge NBA fan necessarily of one team, but he is a basketball junkie as this ends up out of bounds.
He'd like to see a few more fouls called down in the paint, so that was part of it as well, fellas.
Every Big Ten coach wants that at all times, I feel like, as Walker got the tip from Hauser, trailing. Wow, Joey Hauser, Myron, you said it right off the top of the show. A couple minutes in, Joey Hauser has become a dude for Michigan State.
That's the second time that we've seen him with his effort make up for a missed layup. Tyson Walker a little bit out of control coming off that steal, but Joey Hauser staying in the play. A nice little tip back.
Wahab didn't want to go against Bingham. They'll refeed the post from Ayala, who said go for it, and he did.
I like the fact that Wahab threw it out, and they went right back to him. You go at Marcus Bingham, who was in foul trouble in the first half, and Kudus Wahab over the last 3 games has played more like the Kudus Wahab at Georgetown that we saw last season.
2 years with the Hoyas for Wahab.
Maryland is just blowing up Michigan State's stagger screens on the baseline. They're just switching them out and taking them away.
Walker for Brown. Late shot clock 3 won't go, and Bingham will leave it to Walker for the offensive rebound. Hauser got the feet set and knocked down a 3.
It's a simple action. It's roll and replace. You roll Marcus Bingham, you rise Joey Hauser. The help defender has to take the roller, and Joey Hauser is wide open. Nobody rotating to him.
Double figures for Hauser. Danny Manning gets his wish.
2. There's a second look. Hauser tipping it in. Bingham rolling. Hauser behind. Nice setup by Tyson Walker. Good offense by Michigan State.
Wow, Max Christie just rode Ayala, who got him into the paint. Well, you know this about Eric Ayala. He's going to get his on a nightly basis.
That is totally true. His numbers show you that, averaging almost 16 a game, and he's not going to stop shooting. He's been a scorer for Maryland the last 2 years.
That won't go for Christie. See what Maryland can do to try and claw back into this game. The Terps 3-7 in the Big Ten.
That's got to be that. It's got to be to the basket. And they've got some matchups on the floor, whether it's their guards and Fats Russell or Eric Ayala or even Dante Scott. Driving the ball is the biggest thing tonight for the Maryland Terrapins. And you see it so often, but because you go early, Julius Marble just cleans out that defender.
I knew you were going to say wait, and I wanted to ask you anyway. And I just put my face right into the wall.
That's why you're the best in the business.
Ayala with the miss. Rebound for Hogard.
Boy, I would have liked Malik Hall to shoot that. That's set up. You've got an open shot, and Michigan State.
It's a tougher shot, though.
No, I mean, you're giving up an open shot to take a tougher pull-up. They're shooting 54% from 3 on the year.
Wahab the stuff.
That's an easy bucket for Kudus Wahab, but it's set up by the dribble penetration. It's a nice dump off.
You said it early, get into the paint. When Maryland's done that, they've scored. 7 in a row for the Terps.
That's got to be one more. He had Hauser, and they were going to be in rotation. Gabe Brown had drawn 2. Ends up taking a tough mid-range shot.
Maryland's runs in this game have been spearheaded by some odd shot selection from Michigan State.
Well, that's a blur right there by Fats Russell. He just torched A.J. Hogard. Oh, wow.
Yikes.
One of the greatest coaches in the history of team sports. There's no debating that.
Who are your top 5, Rob?
Boy, put me on the spot.
Yeah.
It's John Wooden, Mike Krzyzewski.
Oh, I was joking, but you're going to do it, huh?
Bill Belichick. And Kudus Wahab getting a jump hook. That's a nice play drawn up by Danny Manning. Post him in the middle of the floor. Get him deep post position, and Kudus Wahab doing the rest.
Gabe Brown missed the 3, and the rebound for Maryland. This crowd starting to get lively in a 4-point game.
Gabe Brown just looks totally lost on offense.
Wahab just mistimed his jump. He might have had a second chance. Instead, it's Michigan State on the counterattack. Maryland got back well. Hall the screen for Walker.
Joey Hauser has got Kudus Wahab on him. He's going to have some opportunities to look for that perimeter jump shot.
Hall digging deep for 2.
He just backed down. Dante Scott got to that strong right jump hook. Malik Hall can really score the ball on the block.
He's only played over 27 minutes one time this year, but when he's on the floor, Michigan State has been better.
Just seeing him average 10 a game, you feel like he should be more up towards 14 or 15 because of how much ability he has. What a crossover.
Fats Russell floater too short.
That was Maryland on Maryland crime. Julian Reese just knocked that right away from Fats Russell. Would have been probably an easy putback.
Yeah, Russell looked like he was going to size up an easy two. Hall nearly traveled. That jumper for Walker won't go.
Tap back. That's
yeah,
a great play by Jaden Akins.
And Hall finishes.
He flies in there, and we all know how athletic Akins is. Had a tough first half shooting the basketball, but that's a winning play, flying in and knocking that out.
Out of Sunrise Christian, which has brought them Malik Hall and Tum Tum Nairn recently. And a foul. Sometimes you get a stuffed animal for that sort of make.
The fair?
Yeah. You can upgrade to the bigger one if you do it twice. Lead is 7 for Michigan State. Trying to get to a three-way tie for first place in the Big Ten with Illinois and Wisconsin. And that is a foul down low against Julian Reese. Danny's playing the hits tonight with the officials. I don't blame him. Sometimes it works.
Boy, look at how Xavier Green is sitting on that baseline side. But once again, Akins flying in.
You can see there's a bounce in the step for Jaden Akins. Walker got a crease and got fouled.
Really backfired on us there. I truly believe that you were talking.
You thought I was going to the
Texas.
I put the card in front of your face as well.
Well, I couldn't read it. It was a little bit far away.
It was far away.
I just assumed. And we talked about Beard earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, Auburn, Alabama. That's gonna be a great game
But
too.
I think you did it right. You got to watch both.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Russell cans a three.
Tyson Walker just gets consumed with the ball handler, and you leave Fats Russell for just a second. He relocates, gets away from Walker, and drills one. Look at how far they are going under on Walker. Fats Russell is at the free throw line.
Walker's an over 50% three-point shooter. Doesn't take many of them. Bingham got it for three. His 5th made three of the year.
He can certainly shoot that, but Maryland content to give up the pick and pop to Marcus Bingham.
And now this crowd has gone very quiet. Off the spin, there's 2 for Reese.
He's going to be a really good player. The ability to pick and pop, he can score with his left hand. As a freshman, he's certainly learning on the fly in what's been a very dysfunctional season, but that's going to be a moving screen.
Yeah, that's 3 on Bingham. What it was going to be like in the stands, how people were going to react, and you talk about it just being, 55 years ago. Michigan State definitely in the center socially of college sports in a lot of ways. Great story about it on the Undefeated from a couple of years ago, as we get a foul against Michigan State and 2 free throws coming from Maryland. That's 4 on Marble, Rob.
I mean, Julian Reese just put Julius Marble in the basket, and that was totally designed by Danny Manning to go right at him. And credit Reese for embracing the physicality as a freshman. He's certainly learning on the fly.
That makes this job in the future.
There are so many players around here.
Yes.
I mean, DC, Baltimore, the Eastern Seaboard. There's no shortage of guys that can really hoop out here.
There's been a lot of discussion over, top whatever job Maryland is, but when this place is rocking, it is an absolute volcano as Brown misses on a clothesline three.
That was a missile. I mean, that was really flat, and it just almost looked like it came off his hand. You know how when you shoot, it's supposed to come off your pointer finger, your middle finger, and it looked like it maybe came off his pinky. You work so hard to develop that ability to have those 2 fingers as the last to touch the ball, and just did not look right off the hand of Gabe Brown.
5-point game halfway through the second half. Maryland sticking around here.
Good help defense there by Fats Russell, being on that nail and anticipating the dribble penetration from Gabe Brown. Spread the floor, and if you're open, it's a good shot, shoot it. It's better than that.
And a one-handed rebound. Third foul on Dante Scott, and his foul trouble correlated with Michigan State's run in that first half. Hall puts a head down and misses.
Credit Dante Scott for hanging in there. That out-of-bounds play is designed for Malik Hall to rip it left. Dante Scott moving his feet, holding his ground.
Wow, Russell crossover and turned it over.
Just a little bit out of control.
Nice find. Hall at the rim, and he is fouled.
After that Big 12 SEC challenge.
How about Ochai Agbaji?
Had a heck of a year
he's had.
Why did you say it like that?
Lead is 6 for Michigan State.
Shout out to another announcer, perhaps.
Maybe. There's 2 for Julian Reese. It's a 4-point game. Look, Maryland is not going quietly tonight.
Julian Reese just doing his work early. The high-low is there. And Max Christie coming off that handoff. If you're back, he can let it fire. I like the aggressiveness of the freshman on that possession.
What do you make of his season, Rob?
Max Christie?
Yeah.
A little bit up and down. Super talented. Trying to figure it out, I think, from a physicality perspective. But you see when he plays well just how good he's going to be. But I think the sky is the limit for him. I really do.
He may need to be big tonight to get Michigan State into that 3-way tie, the Big Ten lead. Hauser declined on the 3 with Scott pounding him. Bingham. Another for 3.
Once again, A.J. Hoggard is just stringing that ball screen out. Julian Reese has got to wait until the guard gets back up underneath. The time is there for Bingham. Pretty good contest from Reese, but Marcus Bingham getting hot from the 3-point line here in the second half.
Bingham's second double-figure game since January the 5th. Ayala, that faded on him, and the rebound for Michigan State. Big couple of possessions right now for Maryland to stick around in this thing. Bingham feeling it. Scott is fouled.
You have to think he'll be highly involved in the search for the next coach here at the University of Maryland.
I did one game with Gary Williams back in the day, and watching him break down the game in real time was an absolute master class.
I'm sure. Well, A.J. Hoggard just totally missed Monty Sissoko. A layup just rolling to the basket.
Instead, Hoggard bumping into Wahab. Hauser on the drive, tried to wrap it around and just threw it away. His cross lane pass wasn't there. He threw it over his head, and now Maryland down 5 with the ball. Just 7 turnovers for Michigan State. That one in a big spot. Ayala.
Oh, what a take.
Scores!
Just through the chest of Monty Sissoko. It's just a simple pin down action. But Eric Ayala comes flying off it. The ball fake freezes the held defense. That's a strong take from Ayala.
Akins. That is a goaltend against Wahab.
That allows him to finish over the big fella.
And that's a guy with a reputation for being a tough dude. Sissoko.
They go right back to it, and that time Max Christie does a much better job of getting over the pin down.
Dante Scott. That's blocked away. Sissoko's revenge tour.
That was
filling stadiums.
Sissoko hanging in
across the old line state. Ayala off the screen. Christie might have gotten a piece of that, and it's going to be out of bounds.
Not.
There you go. Yeah, right off his leg. Good call.
Good call.
Chance of defense in a 5-point game.
It just doesn't feel like Michigan State's getting any type of penetration off their ball screen action. Their guards are just coming off to come off, not to get downhill.
And a blind pass from Walker there.
That's where Tyson Walker's got to score that thing.
Hart thought about the three, instead spun it off his foot. Hauser got engulfed by Hart, and they're going to get Hart on the foul.
It's such a free-for-all, too. It's a scrum, and there's multiple bodies going to the ground. That was the right one right there.
Hauser the screen, nothing there for Walker.
See, but he's coming off, and there's just nothing going towards the basket.
Scott the help. Hauser's second chance. How about the life of the official? You get 3 of them in a row, right, and the crowd still hates you.
That's a travel.
It is. Crowd evidently big hockey fans and Tom Izzo fans here at the same time. Scott and Hall. One-on-one. Hauser got the help. Scott stuck. And he scores anyway.
I honestly thought he drug his pivot foot. They end up not calling it. But for Dante Scott to have the composure to finish that with the off left hand, all of a sudden this crowd is alive here in College Park.
In a big way. No high-low. Hauser hits the deck and a foul against Maryland.
It's a big rivalry. I think it's more about the way he left, too. And that's a big part of it.
Christie trying to pry himself away. Akins, the freshman, with 10. Hall getting the wrong count in the crowd, and Russell. Yep, he got the hand in. Here comes Hart into Hauser, and he dropped the hand in.
Second half, but he's dealt with foul trouble. Marble, when they've gone to him, has also been able to score, but I have to think with the lineup on the floor, it's going to be Malik Hall time.
The path to first place in the Big Ten is always a winding road. And a foul called.
The crowd doesn't like it here. Julius Marble goes up. It's hard to tell. He got a baller arm there. I'd love to see it again.
Maybe he went hand to hand as that free throw is good. Saturday, so much to tell you about. 3 Eastern on ABC and ESPN, the NHL All-Star Game. College hoops, Sonic Blockbusters on ESPN. Baylor, Kansas, Kentucky, Alabama, then the Pro Bowl on Sunday. ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and Disney XD. Michigan State has taken now a 3-point lead. If they win, they're in a 3-way tie for first place in the Big Ten. If they lose, they're then in the 3-loss category with Purdue. But so much left in a month or so in the Big Ten as Michigan State has seen a 15-point lead whittled down to 3.
Look at how small this game's gotten. You got Dante Scott, Malik Hall at the 5. I'm surprised Michigan State's not switching everything.
They're going to let Scott and Hall. Now Russell for the tie. He buried it. Timeout, Tom Izzo.
Only taking 5. They've gotten back in this thing by driving the ball.
And we got a foul down low against Maryland. 8th foul against the Terrapins. Fats Russell, you talk about all the basketball he's played in a one-on-one coming. He and Dante Scott together won a high school state title in Philadelphia. They were friends and teammates, and now they've rejoined here in Maryland and trying to make life very difficult for Michigan State, with Hall staring down another big free throw chance on the road.
I just think, Jason, if you're going to be the team that wins the Big Ten, these are the types of games that you just find ways to win. On the road against a talented team that hasn't had the best year. It's been a pretty good atmosphere tonight. Student section totally full. But to win this league with this competitiveness at the top, these are the games that you've got to find a way.
The winner of the Big Ten this year is going to have some stories to tell.
And probably like 5 or 6 losses, honestly.
That is also true. Where does Maryland go?
I just think it's probably Dante Scott. Play through him. But regardless, if it's, well, that's what they were doing. But
he got chucked by Hall, and it goes against Hall.
I just want to see Maryland go to the rim. And that can be Ayala. It can be Fats Russell. It can be Dante Scott. It can be Akeem Hart. I just felt like with the mismatch they were able to generate with Tyson Walker coming over showing help to get that Russell 3, they were going to go back to that well.
Both these teams are above average free throw shooting teams. They're both top 80 in the country. As that one's good for Scott, a 77% foul shooter. So Marble comes back. He has 4 fouls. Hauser has 4 fouls as well. And the third guy with 4 fouls is Marcus Bingham Jr. Tied again. Here we go down the stretch in the Big Ten on a Tuesday night. Walker didn't take the 3. Marble the screen and roll. It's Walker to the rim. No, off the window and deflected to the sideline, out of bounds. It is Michigan State basketball.
I really thought Malik Hall tipped that out. And luckily, we're at 1:59.
I just breached the 2 minutes, so we are going to have the officials go take a look at it. Instant replay instituted. How about that? 2 seconds later. Instead, it's Michigan State basketball. Hall turning to the rim. He is met by black jerseys, and here's Russell. Izzo wants a foul. He's following Donnie Epley down the sideline. That was straight up, though.
I thought Dante Scott was vertical.
Russell didn't want the 3. Minute and a half to go. Maryland looking for a stunning upset. Russell with 7 against Walker, turning his back.
Defense.
Ayala, front iron, and a rebound for Marble, who just absolutely knocked down Scott in the tangle. And Tom Izzo wants a timeout to work with his team and the officials. Tied at 63. Off we go. Michigan State basketball trying to get into a 3-way tie for first of the Big Ten with a minute to go in College Park.
Dante Scott just fronting Julius Marble and just keeping that ball out of the post.
And that is a block against Maryland. Let's see. It's an offensive foul. Initially looked like a signal of a block, and then the point this way against Michigan State, and that's 5 on Marble. Marble's done. Tom Izzo can't believe it.
Marble coming over, and I mean that's the what are you upset about it?
Yeah,
that's a moving screen all the time. I mean he walked into him. He wipes him out.
Timeout Maryland. Russell and Walker. Ayala into Hogard, off the spin, met by Hall, and this is out of bounds to the Maryland Terrapins.
Well, it's a clear out for Eric Ayala to get to his right hand, and credit Michigan State for going up, being vertical, contesting that shot.
On the hunt for another upset. They've affected Illinois, now trying to put the hurt on Michigan State. That's Russell. 9 to shoot. Russell turns the corner. This is out of bounds, and it's off of Russell.
When Fats Russell, and you're always taught as a player, when you're going into the basket, you can't rock this ball like you're rocking the cradle. Look at how he brings that across his body
Maryland's bench trying to get the crowd to stand up. 20 seconds to go in a tie game. Tom Izzo says wait. Just stand there and wait. There's the timeout with 11 and a half. What do you think of that, Rob? He's got Walker with 10. Tyson Walker off the screen from Bingham. Hall bluffs the shot with 3. He spun it in.
What a take by Malik Hall. They've run the roll and replace a bunch tonight, and that gives opportunities for your 4-man.
With 2 clicks left.
I like Marcus Bingham on the ball. There's nobody coming to screen. He can be all over this passer.
It's Russell at midcourt. He's got a look.
Easy.
And he missed. Michigan State slinks out of College Park with its 8th league win.
You know what that reminded me of? The Ohio State Evan Turner shot against Michigan, where it was just too easy. Fats Russell gets a really good look here